Good afternoon, everybody. We just wait for a few seconds probably and we'll get started. Good afternoon, Sagar.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Because it's a short session, so we need to get it done faster. We wouldn't be able to wait much. So, okay. Wonderful. Just to check if you're able to hear me clearly, are you able to see my slide clearly?
Yes.
Hi,
Okay.
yes, we can see the slide.
Wonderful.
Welcome, everyone. Hello.
Yes, hello. Yeah,
Yeah.
welcome. Yeah,
So,
thank you.
yes. So, welcome, everyone. Today we have Ms. Shanti. She's an experienced certified course, and in this session, she is going to cover, like, she's going to tell us how we can, this mindfulness can help us to stay calm, focused, and how we can be more effective in both our personal and professional lives. So, welcome, ma'am, and now we can start with the session. I think
Thank you so
almost most of the people has joined.
Wonderful. Why I was rushing through was because we have only 40 minutes. So
Yes,
even
yes, yes, I know.
a minute is very, very precious for all of us. So thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk about a very beautiful subject, which is mindfulness and productivity. So the very first beginning, I just wanted to ask all of you, you don't have to answer me, but you answer yourself. Um, is our mind where the hands are working? What I mean to say is, where is your mind right now? Is it stuck at the point where you left it before this session? Or is the mind racing towards what you're going to do after this 40 minutes? So that's what we're going to talk about. And where is your mind when you're walking somewhere? Where's your mind when you're eating or even taking a shower? Are we more forgetful? We keep reminders for everything. Even for water, you have reminders. Even for getting up, you have reminders. You have reminders for even calling your parents. So why are we so forgetful? You know, is it because of some a faster biological aging in us because of the food and the kind of you know the environment that we're living in? Or is it some kind of an incapability or incompetency in us that we go through this forgetfulness? We go through that need for constant reminders and rework. Does it really feel good that we have to rework on something that you already worked, right? So these are the questions that come to our mind when we talk about being productive also, and the need to be mindful. What a beautiful mind it would be, and what wonderful people all of us could be if we have a focused mind, just like a sharp cut laser beam that will not pay heed to any distractions that comes its way, and it goes just directly to the place where it wants to go to with absolute precision, and so much of focus that there's nothing that can deter its path in achieving the goals. Just imagine that each and every act of ours, whether it is a huge project or whether it is a small work, it goes to the precision and there is no looking back because it's 100% perfect. All the QC, quality control in the organization, will be out of their job, if we have such kind of mind that works in precision, right? So we need to understand why we struggle to focus at work. Have we all questioned ourselves? Why do we so much struggle at work? Why is it that we can't focus? So we have something called a focus crisis. So this is a new term, focus crisis. Almost 79% of the workers can't focus for 1 hour. And great example is that our session is only for 40 minutes because it gives a little happiness that, it's not going to be for 1 hour. And what we lose is actually, and 59% of the people can't even focus for 30 minutes. So, I mean, I'll have around 50% dropouts from the mental dropouts from the session after 30 minutes. So unnerving, isn't it? And the kind of cost that is like 720 work hours is lost because of this lack of focus. And roughly around $650 billion is a cost loss because of that lack of focus. So, though we are spending time for the workforce, this is a kind of loss where we have when people are not focused. And as we grow forward, we need to also look at what are the top distractions, right? So, immediately we might just talk about this poor cell phone alone. That has given us more value, but it is a distraction. But so it's very interesting to know that the focus, the top distraction is actually people, right? So the top distraction is actually co-workers. Can you believe that? 71% of site colleagues as a main distraction. They're not directly distracting us. It's just that we are required to service some of our co-workers for their work, follow-ups, with them. Probably there's some amount kind of conflict that happens, probably mindset issues that happen. So we are busy resolving conflicts. We are busy satisfying egos and doing overwork because of co-workers, right? And of course, our phone notification, which is important, but 62% report notification as a major disruptions. We keep it in silent mode, we keep it in our vibration mode, or we say DND, all that is fine, but still, yeah, it does take us off the work. And let us not blame the cell phone alone. We also have kind of an OCD that we keep checking our phones now and then. We don't know why. Even if it doesn't ring, we have a tendency to check our phone for what we do not know. Is it helping us to be productive? Not sure. And of course, our email notification that comes both are on our mobile, probably on some other devices. We keep getting those pops. So those is 32%. And of course, our chat applications that we have, the WhatsApp and things like that, where people are talking to each other, where you play no role, but you're also watching it. And of course, our meetings and check-ins, 22%. So this is a kind of top distraction, the sources that we are struggling with. And along with we have this focus crisis. Everything is crunched down today. Nobody is willing to watch a video which goes more than 10 minutes. So we have kind of condensed it and made into 30 seconds, 1 minute video. And even that one minute video, it goes to 30 seconds. And that 30 second has come to like 10 seconds because we just want to know what it is. And if it's interesting, we go ahead. So the kind of focus has really, really come down, right? So we need to, we have really understood that why is it, that we are not able to focus? But the question is, this is the meat of the program. The question is, why should we be mindful at work? We belong to the millennials, we belong to the Gen Z, it's the old fashioned to be very, very mindful at the work and do one work at a time. We are those kind of a people who multitask things. So do you need to be all this, mindful? Is it something, the new word, mindfulness? Is it that code word that earns more money for people? Does it really help the organization to be productive? Does it really matter? And okay, all of us would want scientific reasoning why we have to be mindful. And by being mindful, we are productive, the organization is productive. It's not a fancy term, or it's not a term otherwise called for laziness, right? So, what is the scientific reason that you need to be productive? You need to be mindful initially. It helps you in the long run, and your engine can work faster. When I say engine, I'm talking not about the heart, I'm talking about our brain that does all the processing. So the science behind mindfulness and productivity is something called neuroplasticity, and the brain changes. I don't know, maybe some of you have heard about it, but it is real. So neuroplasticity, it's called neural plasticity or a brain plasticity. It refers to the capacity, the remarkable ability of our brain to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout our life. If it didn't create such neural connections in our life, none of the experiences we have undergone mindfully would have created a change, a transformation in us that has developed into a great personality that you are, and me are today. So, this lifelong capacity allows the brain to adapt and change in response to experiences, the learnings that we have, and even injury. Right? So neuroplasticity is both structural change, that is, within the brain, the neurons and the neural network also goes through the change, and also functional change. It modifies behavior. This is about neuroplasticity, all about creating neural connection that builds your brain, makes the brain younger, active, and makes you young in the real sense. Now let's come to how the brain changes. A little bit more scientific terms that I want to talk about. These days, people talk about it more. In most of them, the psychologists come on board and talk about it. It is called cortisol level and amygdala reactivity. They're both together, closed together, and it is in the context of the stress and emotional processing that we have to go through in our daily life. When I say emotional processing, some of the emotion gets processed, but most of the emotions don't get processed at the right time because we are not even mindful of the emotion that we are going through. And we camouflage that emotion as hunger, as depression, lack of sleep, or something else, or even put the blame on some relationship issues. This is what is happening. We are not even aware of what's going through us in terms of emotional level. Okay, leaving that aside, the amygdala, that's a brain region associated with fear and emotional response. That's what sends signals to initiate the body's stress response. So, which includes the release of cortisol. So, these days, you've not met the deadline, tomorrow is a deadline, and we have less time to complete. Immediately there is an emotional response, a signal that is sent to the body that says that you're in danger. Protect yourself, right? So this sends that signal to the brain, and the cortisol level increases, and there's a lot of activity in the amygdala, very similar to there's a fire and you need to run. But if there is a fire, that is required because you need to run. But here you don't need to run. So as and when we get these stimuli from outside, more and more there is increased activity of the amygdala, increased cortisol level that decreases the neuroplasticity of your brain. So it doesn't take through all the experiences that you go through, and we keep repeating the same mistake again and again. That actually is a rework. So, same situation, different scenario, different problem. We are not able to connect. The neural activity is not able to go back and say, hey, this is the problem that you solved last month. You have to just apply the same thing to this situation, it'll get done. That connection is lost because we were not mindful when we were solving that problem. So how do we enhance the enhance neuroplasticity? The best method is, of course, meditation. When I say meditation, let us not have any connotation of getting into anything spiritual or anything religious. Not that it is bad, but even then, if we have a little of reservation to accept something, meditation is nothing but being aware of your own self, right? When we meditate, when we are calm, when we are aware of how our breath is functioning, how the body is responding, it creates neural pathways and connections. So what actually happens that way is it improves the attention. So it extends from 47 seconds to several minutes, right? So you could, after the session, sit quietly for 1 minute and see where your attention control is, because you need to be very truthful to yourself in how many seconds would you want to just move. And by being mindful, it also reduces the stress response. We understand that it is not do or die situation. You can certainly think through, take it out calmly, and work on it very well. And there are certain researchers that talk about, 32% productivity increase with mindful programs. There is 30% decrease in stress symptoms. Stress symptoms could be as simple as headache, as simple as pain in your shoulder, pain in your arms, and a wrong signal of chest pain, which is neither gas nor heart problem. It is just a symptom of stress or skin issues. All that is a stress symptom. Depression, it reduces depression by 19%, and it reduces the anxiety if we are mindful of what we are doing. So that is, now you're listening to the class, and when you listen to the class only, being very mindful, this will create a better neural connection in the brain and help you in the processes later. That is what it means. But if we are following this, yeah, Shanti, talk on. I think you're making sense. Okay, let me send this note. When that happens, neither are you having any connection, neural connection for the work that you're doing on your mobile, neither what you're hearing on your ears. So both are gone, which just means that you're not productive. It's a loss for yourself and to the organization. So what do we do about it? Okay, so what we do about it, it's very simple. It is just that, we all breathe. But how many of us are aware that we are breathing? And are we breathing correctly? All of us, most of us, while we work, one, we don't breathe, right? And when we don't breathe, what happens is suddenly you realize there's tension here, and then you gasp for it and you say, "Hmm," right? And you have a sense of relief. That's not because of the work pressure, because you've forgotten to breathe. So in office strategies, when you're sitting in your offices, you can use the desk breathing exercises. It's available on internet. I don't want to show it right here, share a video, but it is just that you inhale for 4 seconds, right? You just inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, hold it for 7 seconds. Don't breathe out, just hold it for 7 seconds and slowly release that breath for 8 seconds. It is called 4-7-8 technique. Do it for a couple of times and then start your work. It helps you to be very mindful of the work that you're going to do. There are office spaces in your offices. If you're working from home, certainly there would be a place which is called, something very quiet. It could be a storeroom. It could be the backyard or the terrace. Find a place and probably for 15 minutes, do nothing. No cell phone. Don't take your cell phone. Don't take your water bottle. Nothing. If you're wearing your specs, maybe it's better idea to remove it because you don't want to see anything. Just stare at a blank space, zoned out, right? And just be quiet. For 15 minutes, do nothing. And after 15 minutes, when you come back, you are a new person. And you could have a technique called, maybe one particular day in a week or once in 15 days, have a no meeting day. That day, no meetings. You're not going to initiate meetings, nor are you going to attend any meetings. So 71% productivity increases with 3+ meeting free days per week, right? So meetings also take away the productivity and mindfulness because most of us just attend meeting because we are just called for the meeting and we are not paying attention. So there is some, you can follow a kind of an implementation guide. Create a headspace for work. Okay, this is workplace. Then for calmness, then for health. There are so many mindfulness app which is available, but I personally have found it very distracting rather than being helpful. It depends upon how people want to use it. Another good practice is now you're going to have a meeting for a few minutes. That time you can have a 1 minute mindful breathing, right? So this can help. So let us all be quiet and be quiet and just breathe just before the meeting. Have mindful breaks, 2 to 5 minutes break between work. And how do you take a break? Please don't run to the pantry counter for a cup of coffee. Instead, just sit quietly, relax. Maybe you want to close your eyes and just scan your body from head to toe. And when you do that, the body relaxes. And these are the things that you can use without letting anybody know, right? And certainly, you your office environment, don't clutter, have too many things around it. Have some beautiful art which gives you positive vibration. Probably have a nice plant or something in front of you, something nice, right? So that you're mindful. Somewhere, one of my very, very old mentor, 30 plus years, I know him. He says, I keep my office environment or the office building or the logo in my living room, okay, to remind me that this beautiful house and all the kind of comforts that I have is because of the company that I work for. And in at office, there's a little picture of the family, maybe the children or whatever, a small little corner to remind them that they have to take care of their health, to be very productive at work so that they can go back and enjoy their time for which they're working for. So these kind of little things can really help for us in terms of being mindful. And the kind of productivity impact is also very huge. It's more when you actually, when you actually have no meeting days, right? So at least once a week, try to have that this day we are not going to have any meetings. It'll be more productive. Now, these are in office strategy. They could be out of office strategy also. So, when you get up in the morning, begin with a 5 minute meditation or breathing. Sit on your bed. Don't just jump in. Don't ever look into your mobile, right? Just sit up and 5 minutes, close your eyes and focus on your breathing. Set daily intentions before checking devices. What do you want to do that day? How different would you want to behave that way? Today, I will not be mad at this particular person, right? That could be your intention. Today, I'm not going to have any overload work, or I will not have anything pending today. So I'm going to complete all my work on time. And practice also gratitude journaling probably at night. What are the things that you really enjoyed today that you're very grateful for? Because tomorrow when you see that, you'll be very grateful and you'll be mindful. And when you're commuting, focus on breathing while walking or driving. But what happens when I'm sure most of you go for your morning walks or wherever, or I mean, of course, you drive. What do? We don't focus on the present. There's a lot of traffic outside, so here the music is on, and you are busy listening to the music, forgetting what we are doing. Why not switch it off and just be mindful? Yes, I'm driving, right? I'm driving. I'm walking. I breathe and I walk. So use this commutation for mental transition. You can actually think about or imagine, manifest something which is very big that you're doing. Manifest that. Listen to probably some guided meditation or very selected playlist that makes you come back to your own self, not take you away from your own self. And evening, I'm sure most of you have seen, there should be a digital sunset. No screens 1 hour before the bed. And certainly working day closing ritual, reflect on what you want to do the next day, body scan before we sleep, And at home also, you need to have a dedicated place where you can do your work, have some natural light, plants, and things like that. Use focus tools, timers, notification blockers, maybe a time set for watching reels, these kind of a things. And these things can certainly help you stay focused in terms of your, being mindful. And another technique is also called weekend mindful reset. What do we do on a weekend? We on a weekend we get up late, right? We just get up late and nothing is reset. We are just adding on to the next week's burden because there could be a lot of things that you can enjoy. You can go somewhere, if forest is nearby, just walk with barefoot. Maybe you can have an extended bathing session. You can go for a hike which is away from your work, not touching anything that is digital. What happens is when you go for a trekking, you take your mobile and you want to vlog and you want to put it on an Instagram, and this is not away from you. There could be few things in life that need not be recorded. Have some mindful hobby engagement. Think about reading something, probably drawing something, cooking, or whatever, which you've never imagined. Right? Weekly, just see. Last week, I went to the office. I met so many people. There were so many challenges. There were so many things going on. What went off very well? I should not have behaved that way. No, no, no. I messed up with this. Here, I did brilliant. So what should I do the next week? What better person I can be next week? I've been very, very bad to Mr. X, in the organization. I don't know why I'm behaving with that person very badly. Maybe I'm jealous of that person. That person is little taller than me. Probably that's why you could internalize and understand what's happening, why your behavior with certain people is not good, which actually is creating issues of your productivity. But think about relationships that are going very well. Think about relationships that are not going very well. So this will actually reset you, make you a different person the next week, physically, emotionally, intellectually. It'll make you a very, very better person to face the next week. So what we saw so far in this short period of time is neuroplasticity. Please do so more research on that. These are mindful triggers, measurable changes in brain structure. Just think about one activity, take for the next week, take one activity, be mindful of that activity, do that activity, think about that activity, analyze that activity, make intentions on that activity. 100% result is that next time when you do this activity, you will be much more productive than the first time. And 30% decrease in workplace stress symptom by following being very mindful, and 32% increase with structured mindful programs. You can choose one among them. You don't have to choose all. You could say, okay, I want my team to be productive. If we are going to have one-on-one, let's not jump into that conversation right away. Give ourselves some time. Just wait for some time for settling down. Check with the other person. Are you ready for the conversation? And just give some time and then start the conversation, right? And it has major cost benefit also. So I don't want to read out the cost benefit, but you can see for yourself how this mindfulness and can impact your initial investment, how it can improve your annual saving, not just of the organization, also of the house, how you can save time and money, how you get more for less productivity gain, and how you can retain the knowledge much better than before if you're more productive. So at an organization level, probably create some meditation spaces that doesn't require any cost. It's just that place. When you can have smoking zones in public areas, why not have quiet zones, right? So that could be a great idea for the organizations. Institute no meeting day, and 100% it's going to be 71% productivity increase. And at team level, say there could be work blocks. Okay, make an intention that now we are going to work for the next 3 hours. All the 10 members in the team will just focus on the customer escalation particular scenario. We'll work only on that, nothing else. So this kind of mindful meeting and mindful work increases productivity. At individual level, uh, mindful breathing at that desk, create structured out routines, what you'll do in the morning, afternoon, evening. Please be very mindful of how you use the digital tools and take time to focus, how much time you're spending on everything, how productive you are. Are you doing too many reworks? Are you feeling good about yourself? Physically, are you feeling okay? Are you going through some depression? If you are, don't think that it's a medical issue. It's just that we are not being mindful of our work. So try to make improvements on it. So I'm sure this has given you some insight, very, very simple in practicable things of how to take care of it. Step one is audit your distraction. What is your major distraction? Is it internal or is it external? Right? Somebody else is disturbing you, or you choose to get distracted yourself. Understand the source, identify the patterns. Step two, have mindful breaks, probably 5 minute session, 5 minute break in between two different tasks. It is much better than 30 minutes break. 5 minutes break is much better than 30 minutes break, but that 5 minute has to be a break. So I would recommend that you start your mindfulness journey right today, because that gives you an edge in how you work, in the way you are more productive. And the kind of savings that we give for the organization, look, $650 billion is a huge cost, 720 work hours lost per employee, and we are paying for them, right? They are mindfulness practices are not like good to have, they are very core philosophies of being very productive. And unfortunately, today in 2025, we have to teach people on being mindful, which is a very natural tendency in human being, that we are very mindful of what we are doing. We were the kind of people who enjoyed what we were doing. We actually underwent that emotional trauma of whatever is going through. If we're going through some sorrow, it is sadness. Let us accept that it is sadness. Let's not cover it up by saying it's okay, I'm very strong, I don't want to suffer. No, the pain is real, right? Undergo the pain, understand the pain, identify what happens when the pain goes through. So when the next time the pain comes to you at a physical or a mental level, you would be more productive in coming out of it, because you were mindful when going through that process, right? So a balanced approach in office and out of office strategies will create a wonderful, sustainable, and focused improvement in your work. So I'm left with few time. I would ask, I would request, if you have any questions for me, I can take a couple of questions for you. Any questions? Is there any questions that I could take from all of you? Because it's a topic that is spread all over. So it would be nice if you can ask me some realistic questions, then we can work on it. Any questions at this point of time? Probably I'll check
I
on the
think no one
chat.
has questions.
Yeah, I'll check on
You
the
have
chat.
explained it very well. So,
I'll check on the chat, because this is a
yes.
topic that sounds like, oh, it's so nice to hear. Maybe not practical. So just want to ask if there's any questions. Okay. So I gave back 3 minutes of their time. Okay, thank you, Desha. No, no, not from your side. Okay. Hmm. Okay, just one question. Were you mindful during this 35 to 40 minutes of my session?
Yes.
Can you please
Now,
put on chat? Were you
very well.
mindful? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay. There are two people who say yes. Hopefully, rest of them. Okay. Thank you, Disha. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so that's it. So you've already learned the art of being mindful. Just be here, be right now, right here. Be where you are. That's what is the focus point. It's not a rocket science. We just have to be mindful, be at the present and is in this very moment. So I really enjoyed working on this content because it's a very light, beautiful content, but at the same time, very difficult to get through because people would think that this will not work. So I had to balance it out. So thank you so much if there are no more questions.
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am, for your time,
Thank
and thank you so
thank
much
you,
for
Neha.
inviting us.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so
Thanks.
much.
Yes. Bye.
Thank you. So good evening. Thank you. Wish you all the best. Thank you.